People have long sought influence on social media at all costs. However, according to the allegations that have surfaced tonight, King Harris's music may have finally pushed the boundaries into a frightening and dark reality that no one anticipated. Welcome back to The Vault, where we're looking at the most shocking news to ever affect the hip-hop scene. Reports saying that the footage that everyone was afraid to view has finally been disclosed to the public and that the results are nothing short of catastrophic have the headlines ablaze right now. We are discussing King Harris' purported arrest in relation to what many are referring to as the ultimate act of disrespect at 50 Cent's mother's final resting place. According to the article, officials acted quickly after the viral video went viral, demonstrating a degree of disrespect for the deceased that has left insiders and fans in complete disbelief. However, the jail and handcuffs aren't the only unexpected turns in this unfolding tale. Following this affair, 50 Cent is said to have sent T.I. a message song called Sell It. The Junit mogul did not hold back when he learned that King Harris was incarcerated, according to insiders. And his response is being characterized as a cold and calculated warning that has sent a shudder through the entire business. With two of the most influential musical families on a collision course that might permanently alter their legacies, the emotional stakes have never been higher. As they watch the drama play out in real time, fans are stunned, and some wonder if King Harris will ever be able to recover from the fallout from such a serious transgression of street ethics. We're delving deeply into the documented facts and the psychological ramifications of a betrayal that has split the family and left the world demanding explanations tonight. Keep checking back as we analyze 50 Cent's heartbreaking message and what it actually means for King Harris's future. Early in the morning, as flashing red and blue lights lit up the suburban streets outside the Harris family home, the report began to pour in. King Harris was arrested, according to a number of well-known entertainment news publications. This action has completely shocked the community and left fans wondering how things could have gotten so bad and illegal. As police arrived on the location with a warrant that many are claiming is directly related to the unsettling video that leaked earlier this week. The atmosphere was apparently thick with tension. Witnesses who were present at the time of the arrest describe a completely chaotic situation, with family members yelling and solicitors hurriedly calling in an attempt to avert the inevitable. King Harris was taken away in handcuffs and seemed clearly stunned. As the truth of his predicament started to dawn on him, his trademark arrogance seemed to be replaced by an expression of utter bewilderment. Following the claimed incident at 50 Cent's mother's final resting place, the report claims that the specific allegations are related to cemetery degradation and a flagrant violation of public order. Millions of people weighed in on whether the arrest was an overreach by the authorities due to the high-profile nature of the victims involved, or if it was a necessary move to protect the dignity of the dead. The news of the arrest went viral on social media. Not only is the impending court battle the most terrifying aspect of this whole story, but Curtis 50 Cent Jackson's stated response is even more terrifying. According to insiders, 50 Cent sent T.I. a direct and devastating message as soon as word of the arrest spread, freezing the industry. According to reports, the message was brief, but it featured a degree of psychological pressure that could only be delivered by someone with 50 Cent's past. According to reports, he told T.I. that he ought to have spent less time shielding his son from the repercussions of his own behavior and more time educating about respect. As T.I. tries to strike a balance between his job as a parent and the intense public demand to condemn the behavior seen on camera, the emotional difficulties within the Harris household are reportedly at an all-time high. Fans are outraged because this is more than just a music-related online feud. It now involves criminal law and long-term reputational harm. According to the allegations, King's family is split, with some members supposedly pleading with him to take responsibility, while others are searching for any way to keep him out of jail. Even seasoned industry professionals are finding it difficult to keep up with the drama's rapid progression from a popular video to a prison cell. According to reports, 50 Cent's message to T.I. was followed by a slew of social media posts that further agitated an already unstable atmosphere by highlighting the seriousness of the situation with humor and mocking. The stakes are stronger than ever for the Harris family legacy, so the music business is keeping a careful eye on it. 50 Cent's legal team is apparently investigating ways to guarantee that the highest penalty is levied for the disrespect shown to his mother's memory. Reports indicate that 50 Cent is not going to let this go lightly. This song was the last straw in a lengthy history of conflict between the two factions, according to the discourse that emerged from the inner circles. According to reports, Busy Bottas, who was earlier said to have physically confronted King Harris over the same matter, is likewise seeing the scenario with a feeling of somber validation. Following the news of King's arrest, several public personalities have been compelled to remark on what is being described as the most disrespectful act in hip-hop history. As supporters of the late Sabrina Brown took to the internet to demand justice and a harsh penalty for the young artist, emotions were running hot. As King Harris sits in a detention cell awaiting his first hearing, it is said that the psychological burden of being at the center of such a tempest is wearing him down. Rumor has it that he hasn't been allowed to communicate with anyone outside of his lawyers, which has only increased the mystery and tension around what will happen next. According to the rumors, T.I. is preparing a significant public statement in an attempt to stay ahead of the story, but the harm to the Harris brand might already be irreparable. The calls for a complete boycott of King's career are getting louder every minute, and the admirers who previously looked up to him feel betrayed. As everyone waits for the leak, there is an air of pure expectancy in the streets. Video of the arrest will be posted online. According to others, the entire incident was captured on a doorbell camera by a neighbor, and the footage depicts a far more violent altercation than what is being publicly reported. As the personal stakes for 50 Cent and T.I. collide in a way that could result in a permanent breach in the culture, the story's twists and turns are keeping everyone on the edge of their seats. According to the article, the bond amount being negotiated is enormous, which reflects the seriousness of the allegations and the risk of a high-profile celebrity fleeing. As the evening goes on and more information regarding 50 Cent's message to T.I. comes to light, it becomes evident that this is more than simply a criminal case. Rather, it is a basic lack of respect that has led to a conflict between two of the most influential figures in music. Since 50 Cent has always expressed his love and respect for his mother, the emotional stakes for are very personal, and this violation feels like a direct assault on his soul. However, T.I. is dealing with the nightmare of witnessing his son pursue a course that could result in years in prison for nothing more than a few thousand likes and shares. The hip-hop community's response to 50 Cent's music has been overwhelmingly positive, with many artists coming out to say that there are some things you simply do not do regardless of the conflict. Reports of King Harris's meltdown in the police station are also making the rounds, with some saying that he is now acknowledging the seriousness of his error. This incident's psychological effects will probably be researched for years to come as a prime illustration of how pursuing viral stardom can completely ruin a person's life. The shifts in how these cases are handled in the current period, where public opinion can be just as influential as the evidence in the courtroom, are highlighted by the transitions between the reporting of the arrest and the study of the legal ramifications. The outcome of this lawsuit will establish a standard for how disrespect is handled going forward, and the music business is at a turning point. King Harris's future is in jeopardy and under threat for every second he spends in that cell. The entire process is dominated by a 50 Cent influence. According to the sources, this is just the start of a protracted and difficult procedure for all parties. The realization that things will never return to how they were prior to that tape being leaked permeates the air as the legal system starts to move forward and the public's need for justice intensifies. According to the reports, 50 Cent's psychological warfare has escalated to a horrifying new level of severity, meaning that the rising legal pressure against King Harris is only half the story. Industry insiders claim that 50 Cent has been working behind the scenes to make sure the Harris family feels the full weight of the disrespect given to his mother's memory, rather than only stopping at a single statement, the remembrance of his mom. According to the sources, 50 Cent's message to T.I. was a masterclass in strategic coercion and manipulation. He supposedly reminded the Atlanta icon that although kings can be forgiven for their sins, their children's acts frequently reveal the true state of the household. According to the dialogue from the 50C camp, he sees this arrest as a moment that fully validates all of his warnings about the lack of boundaries in the present day. The atmosphere is so tense that it feels like a physical weight on everyone concerned. According to witnesses who have been monitoring both sides' online activity, with prosecutors apparently presenting his own video clips as major evidence in the grave desecration case, King Harris is reportedly sitting in a cell confronting the fact that the viral fame he pursued so assiduously has now become his biggest liability. According to the sources, The young musician is beginning to understand that the norms of the internet do not apply in a courtroom and that having a large following does not help you when you are facing actual criminal charges. As additional information about the arrest warrant comes to light, fans are shocked. Some allege that the police had been preparing a case for weeks, waiting for the ideal opportunity to take action and use the situation as an example. The shifts between the legal proceedings reporting and the 50 Cent analysis. Well-thought-out actions reveal a stark difference in how people see the issue. While a sizable percentage of the crowd believes that King Harris is finally receiving exactly what he deserves for breaking one of the most holy rules in human history, others think that 50 Cent is going too far by advocating for the maximum penalty. T.I. and Tiny are apparently at disagreement about how to handle their son's defense, and the emotional tensions within the Harris family are reportedly nearing a breaking point. According to reports, Tiny is more worried with her son's immediate safety and mental health, since he is apparently struggling to cope with his seclusion in the holding cell, while T.I. is more concerned about the family's long-term reputation. A significant contributing element to the reports is T.I.'s sense of betrayal, as he purportedly believes that King's actions have undone years of hard work to create a legacy of respect and community leadership. The Grand Hustle brand is now and forever associated with an act of utmost contempt that can never be erased, according to a 50 Cent message that emphasizes this exact point. According to the rumors, 50 Cent is also purportedly working on a documentary that will delve deeply into the Harris family's history, utilizing this recent arrest as the last chapter to demonstrate a pattern of behavior that he wants the world to witness. This action has enormous psychological repercussions, since T.I. must defend not only his son, but his whole body of work against the unrelenting might of 50 Cent's media machine. As the personal stakes for both men continue to increase, fans are watching every update with a mix of intrigue and fear. A sense of urgency with lawyers is suggested by the conversation recorded from the Harris camp, reportedly attempting to strike a compromise with the 50 Cent's camp prior to the start of the trial. However, it has been reported that 50 Cent has completely stopped communicating, indicating that he wants justice to proceed unhindered. The emotional stakes for 50 Cent are evident in his infrequent moments of seriousness on social media, when he is said to have shared pictures of his mother as a reminder of the reasons behind his brutality. From the physical altercation with Bowie to the legal battle with 50 Cent, King Harris's level of danger clearly increased in. Boosie may even have been called as a potential witness in the case, according to reports, which would further complicate the web of relationships and feuds tearing apart the music industry. Other rappers' responses are still cautious, as many are reluctant to criticize 50 Cent for fear that will become his next target. The psychological strain on King Harris is reportedly nearing a boiling point, as he is reportedly refusing meals and having trouble sleeping while he awaits his next court appearance, while others are silently supporting T.I. out of a feeling of loyalty to the Atlanta scene. In the face of such a contentious crime, the reports describe a young guy who has finally realized that the walls are closing in and that the support he expected from his peers has mostly vanished. The music industry is anticipating 50 Cent's next move, as he is apparently organizing a significant news conference to finally address the arrest and the message he gave to T.I. fans. Emotional stakes are particularly high since many are beginning to feel as though they are witnessing the slow-motion demise of a hip-hop dynasty. The audience is kept on the edge of their seats by the shifts between the various phases of the arrest and the ensuing legal actions, which transform the story from a straightforward news broadcast into a disturbing psychological drama. Rumors that King Harris's team is attempting to assert that the video was altered or taken out of context are among the latest developments, but the report indicates that the police have already obtained the original files. This section of the story appears to be heading toward a protracted legal struggle that will put everyone's fortitude to the test and permanently alter the culture's history. In this instance, 50 Cent's influence is pervasive, and his message to T.I. serves as a continual reminder that there are some blunders in the realm of power and respect from which you can never fully recover. The only thing that is clear as everyone waits for the next update is that King Harris and the Harris family as a whole are facing more serious consequences and bigger stakes. The courtroom drama is expected to be as combustible as the incident itself, according to stories surrounding the last stage of this legal nightmare. The prosecution is apparently getting ready to introduce a mound of digital evidence that depicts a deliberate and calculated act of contempt, including music, according to those close to the investigation. Negotiations between the two families apparently broke down due to the psychological impact of this proof, as T.I. realized that no amount of industry influence could simply erase the footage that had already become ingrained in the public memory. According to reports, 50 Cent's message to T.I. has taken center stage in the whole story, with many seeing it as a last warning that the time for an apology has long since passed. Insiders allege that King Harris is finding it increasingly difficult to keep his cool as he confronts the possibility of a multi-year sentence for grave sacrilege, despite the Harris legal team's discourse suggesting a damage control approach. When realized that his son's destiny was now in the hands of a legal system that is infamously harsh on high-profile cases involving public outcry, the emotional stakes reached a fever pitch at a purported closed-door meeting. Reports that 50 Cent has allegedly paid private investigators to delve into every aspect of King's life in order to ensure that his character is tried alongside his acts have surprised fans. A profound shift in the industry's dynamic can be seen in the transitions from the social media frenzy to the chilly reality of the legal procedure, where memes and laughing have given way to a somber realization of the repercussions of seeking influence. Due to King's advanced age, certain members of the community are pleading for mercy, according to the reports. While an increasing number of people are supporting 50 Cent, feels that a strong message needs to be made to preserve the purity of family and the memory of the deceased. 50 Cent's unwavering quest for justice is allegedly motivated by the betrayal he feels. According to what he allegedly told pals, this isn't about the Harris family, but rather about defending his mother in a way that he was unable to do as a youngster. As King Harris sits in a high-security setting, far from the opulence and protection of his family's kingdom, the psychological consequence has been described as a complete breakdown of the ego. According to reports, he has been spotted crying at meetings with his solicitors after realizing that the virtual environment he created for himself cannot keep him out of the actual jail walls. As the preliminary hearing date draws near, the sector is keeping a close eye on time. Rumor has it that a surprise witness from the night of the incident is ready to testify on King's mental state and the reasons behind the tall video. Every step made by either side is being closely examined by millions of people worldwide because of the intense emotional conflicts and personal stakes. Many people believe that 50 Cent's message to T.I. marks the end of an era of mutual respect and the start of a Cold War that will shape hip-hop culture for the next 10 years. According to the sources, the outcome of this case will not only depend on the verdict, but also on the cultural precedent it establishes for what constitutes acceptable and unacceptable in the quest for viral popularity. Reports from within the jail indicate that King Harris was pacing his cell in complete stillness the night before the hearing, possibly contemplating the situation. He made the decision to jeopardize his freedom and his family's history in order to gain a few minutes of attention on social media, family's heritage. Throughout the entire process, 50 Cent's impact is still very much there, and everyone is waiting to see if the young artist will be used as an example, or if there will be a final musical twist in this sinister and dramatic tale that has the power to alter everything.